Smoke rises up, midnight flame. Stars twinkle like they know my name. In the shadows I build my game. Play with fire, never the same.
Strike the match for the heat, crackling under dancing feet. Embers glow in the darkening street, hearts igniting every beat.
Burn, baby, burn, take me higher. Leaving trails of wild desire. Lost in sparks that never tire. We love to make fire. Flames that whisper secret souls, wonders in the heat untold. Blaze a path in red and gold, the fires dance brave and bold. Ashes settle, moonlight shows a quiet calm only fire knows. In the ruins a new seed grows, from the fire life always flows. Burn, baby, burn, take me higher. Leaving trails of wild desire. Lost in sparks that never tire. We love to make fire.
Walls closing in, man. Fistful of rage. Knuckles bloody raw. About to break the cage. Screaming into void. Voice cracking hard. Eyes while burning. Life punch my card. Let's fucking go. Push through the pain. On the edge, man. Driving insane. Dark days, no light. Thrill in the fight. Lost in the nightmare. Hunger's my might. Been never broken. Soul's always smoking. Vultures on my trail. How fame choking. Let's fucking go. Shatter the chains. Riding the chaos. Fire in veins. Closing in, man. Fistful of rage. Knuckles bloody raw. About to break the cage. Screaming into void. Voice cracking hard. eyes while burning. I place my card. Let's fucking go. Push through the pain. I'm the X-Men. Driving insane.
Oh, I forgot to unmute my mic. Jesus, all that talking and I didn't even get any of it out. Hopefully you can hear me now. What I was just blabbering about with my mic muted was that this morning I'm trying something different, and I am streaming through the Rumble Studio app and replaying with my StreamYard app. Maybe somebody could just give me a little thumbs up if they can hear me now. I think it's good. Anyways, so I got my coffee, and hopefully you got yours too. Still waiting for some confirmation if you can hear me here. See, the problem is I only got one set of headphones. I got 3 monitors going. Okay, good. That's what I needed to hear. Okay, like I was saying, I'm streaming through Rumble Studios this morning. So if I send you an invite link, be prepared. It's going to be for Rumble Studios, not StreamYard. Even though I'm using StreamYard, I'm just replaying my Rumble Studio app through my StreamYard app. So that way I can get both YouTube and Rumble. The thing is, lately I've been trying to focus more on the YouTube end of it. Trying to get my monetization on that channel or on that platform. But what I'm noticing is, because I'm posting videos on both platforms, YouTube and Rumble, it's funny though, on YouTube I've got more subscribers on YouTube, not mine anymore, but I do have more subscribers on YouTube. And the funny thing I'm finding is that I'm getting more views on Rumble. So I don't know if Rumble fakes their numbers, but it almost seems like it. So I don't know. I thought I would try something different this morning and try to get reach some of the Rumble people, because I know there's a lot of people that won't watch YouTube. Yeah. Okay. So Sunday morning, we are November 24th. We are getting, I can't believe November's almost over already. We had our first snowfall this week. Not much, not like the Ontario people, I suppose, but we got, I think, 1 millimeter of accumulated snow, and that was gone as soon as the sun came up about half an hour later. So yeah, we don't have a lot of snow, but what we did get this week was a shit ton of rain. We had a really big windstorm. My power actually went out 2 times that's the first time this year the power went out. So whenever the power goes out, I get concerned because, I don't know, you probably hear it during the broadcast here. I do have a sump pump that's about 10 feet behind me, and it just clicks in and out all the time. So if you hear that, that's what that noise is. It's okay. Last night, just before I set up the stream, I said to my wife, I said, so are you going to sleep in tomorrow? And she said, yeah, I'm going to try. And I'm like, okay, well, that's perfect. I'm going to get up early and run a live stream for a couple hours before you get up. So set that up, put the put the links up and everything, and then got up at 4:30 to sort of get things set up. And I hear some walking around upstairs. It's my wife. She's up at 5 o'clock, and then she comes downstairs, and there's also a washer and dryer right behind me. So she comes downstairs and proceeds to put on a load of laundry. And I'm like, hey man, like, can we wait till after 9 o'clock, because I'm gonna do a couple hours of streaming here. Well, let me tell you, that was not the smartest thing to say to a woman at 5 o'clock in the morning, because now apparently I can do my own fucking laundry if I don't if I don't like the noise. Oh geez, he just can't win sometimes, right? But that's okay. We will figure it out. I can just wear my clothes over and over again until I stink so bad that she just gets sick of it and does my laundry for me, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those days. So what's going on in the world? I'm going to put the link into the chat if people would like to join and have some coffee. Okay, there's the link copied. Okay, I just have to, you're gonna have to give me a minute. I'm a bit rusty with the streaming. I haven't been doing it for a while. Oh, fuck, I just copied the wrong link. I haven't been doing it for a while. I would really like to get back to it. I do enjoy having the conversations in the morning. Okay, I just posted the link in the Rumble chat to join if somebody would like to come in and have a bullshit with me, and then I'll stick it in the YouTube chat here. There you go. I'll just give you a heads up. That link requires authorization to join the channel. That's why I post it freely. If you come on and you're an asshole, well, it's easy to get rid of you just the same. So I invite you to come on, and but make sure you got a coffee before you do. So actually, I'm actually smart. I brought 2 coffees. That way I've got one for after when this one's done. I can just switch to that one because I don't want to have to leave you guys. All right, what else I got going? So I've been working quite a bit this week on some different kinds of videos. I've been working on some of my thoughts by IslandJason, and basically what these videos have been about is sort of some of my ideas. So I've been a prolific writer since I was about, I don't know, well, ever since I could probably write, really. But it's funny to watch the evolution of my thought processes and see what's been important to me at the time, because sorry, I'm reading the chat here. You had laundry going before and we didn't hear it. Some pump too. Yeah, Chris, exactly what my wife said. So fuck you. Stop taking her side. It's true. You're totally right. And you probably can't hear. I do have noise canceling, but I have my mic gain turned up a little bit. So I noticed this week when I was recording some of those videos that I could, every now and then the sump pump would kick in and I'd hear it. And it's just, it's one of those things. It's not really that big of a deal, but I'm glad that you can't hear it. Oh yeah. So anyways, these videos that I was making this week, I was really pissed off this week, like really, really pissed off. And, regarding Pat King in specific, listen, I don't know how I feel about Pat King. I don't dislike him. He's not the kind of person that I would necessarily, I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe I would. I don't know. But he's not really what I would consider to be what I would hang around with. So that's fine. And then I have nothing against Pat King, or his methods or whatever. But he was in my belief, he was kind of shit on in court this week, and I think it's a politically motivated reason. He's I don't know. I just see all the shit going on with the Montreal riots just yesterday or the day before, and there's probably nothing going to come of that. But yet, Pat King, he's looking at some jail time, and it breaks my heart when I think about people having to go to jail. Jail's not a good place. I haven't been there as an adult. I was there as a young offender, and it was the worst part of my life. It's bad enough that it convinced me to never do anything or try not to do anything that would ever put me back in that position. So yeah, my heart goes out to Pat, and I'm sure he's full of anxiety and the unknowns, especially not being sentenced right away. That's got to make it even more difficult. So I gotta pay attention to my monitor here in case somebody else comes in. But yeah, so anyway, so I wrote a couple of pieces about it and received some good feedback on it. I don't know if people are specifically aware, because I didn't actually say, I'm being really careful about, when I'm writing my scripts, to not do things that are going to get me in shit with YouTube or Rumble. I mean, the odd F word or whatever is okay, but there's certain things you just don't say. And, I've been trying to stay away from that. But anyways, so I made these videos, and yeah, I hope you get a chance to look at them. They're in my playlists, and I try to been doing this also doing these things where, so it right now, being the end of November, like it's not nice out here. It's wet, it's cold, it's dark, it's hard to make films outside. So trying to bring the filming inside is something new for me. I haven't really done a lot of like actual filming from my desk like I'm doing now. For live streams, yes, but not for actual content for videos. So that's been what I've been working on this week. What else happened to me this week? Oh, we've been working on renewing our mortgage. We had to renew our mortgage, so wife's been dealing with all that. So that's probably part of the other stress in the household too, is just dealing with getting shit done with the banks and all that stuff. I mean, we just found out that Scotiabank, thankfully, we're no longer going to be mortgaged through them, but we just found out that they've been taking a little bit more money than they should have been for our property taxes, and turns out there was a couple $1,000 sitting in an account that we didn't have any knowledge of. So fortunately, my wife, with her due diligence, was able to get that back this week. So that's kind of a bonus for us. Big Stephen with an S, huge dump of snow in Cranbrook. Wow. Cranbrook is one of my favorite places. That's where I shot my first white-tailed deer with my bow. I had a traditional longbow, and I got my first white-tailed buck there, a little 2-pointer. But man, it's amazing the difference between whitetail and coastal black-tailed deer, the difference in flavor and taste. I can remember it right now. I can almost smell, when you shoot a deer and you get to eat that first piece, and it's just like, man, it tastes so good, smells so good. Yeah, so I really liked Cranbrook. I actually got the deer right near Fort Steele. If you've never been there, that's a really interesting place. I really enjoyed it there. And I want to say good morning to Sarah. Thank you very much. Yes, from yesterday, Sarah. I'm assuming that is you that probably maybe helped me out there. That was awesome. So thank you. Yeah. Other things that happened to me this week. Oh, let me think. Yeah, I don't know. Not a lot. It's been the week went by really fast. We always get our grandson for a night overnight on the weekends, and he was here yesterday. So that was my highlight of yesterday, was taking him to the grocery store and letting him say hello he walks through the store. Hi, bye. And of course, it catches people off guard, and he's so darn cute that as soon as he says hi to you, and then like people will be like, what? They turn around, oh hi, and they're right away, they're nice. So he's kind of fun. He's like he's just turned 2, so he's very he's just learning to talk too. So he's repeating everything. We're walking through the store, and he's like, oranges, apples, bananas, potatoes. And we were going to buy some. The chicken was on, like whole fryer chickens were on sale, so we were going to buy some of those at this store. And I told him, oh yeah, we're going to get some buck. So we're walking through the store, and he's just such a tease. He's like, oh, buck here, and he's pointing to cheese. No, that's not buck. And he points to bread. No, that's not buck. And he just gets this little smile. Like every time he points to something that isn't buck, he knows it's not buck, but he points to it, and then he just laughs like he's teasing me or something. So it's kind of fun. Yeah, but it's definitely been really rainy here, and we had this thing called the bomb cyclone this week. So I don't know if you guys out east heard about it on the news, but yeah, Vancouver Island, where I live, I'm right in the center of Vancouver Island, pretty much, and on the west coast of it. So, like where the spearhead of where we were spearhead hitting the storm there, it was looking pretty nasty. There was winds up to, I guess, 170 kilometers an hour or something offshore, and they consider that a Category 1 hurricane, apparently. So, but fortunately for me, I didn't get a lot of wind here. I mean, I have I took my umbrella down on the deck. I usually leave that up. I took that down, made sure it was secure. But yeah, like I said, our power did go out, and my friend over on the other side of the mountain. So like I said, I'm on the west side of in the center of Vancouver Island. One of my friends is on the right side, the east side of Vancouver Island, and they got it really hard there. So yeah. What else happened this week? We see that MSNBC, which I found hilarious, that Rachel Maddow, I just can't stand her. I don't even watch her, but I just thought it was hilarious that Elon's looking at purchasing. Well, I don't know. I doubt he actually will. I don't see the value in actually doing that. I mean, just for for a meme, basically. I don't know, but I see Joe Rogan stepped up and said he would take Rachel Maddow's position, which I think is hilarious. But she must be just freaking right out about that. I guess their views are so low. They're just, oh, they got Lake 10 in Rumble chat. Good morning, Lake. Good to see you. I'm just going to put this up here. Oh, that doesn't work, does it? No. Okay. Let me see what I just did here. Good. No. And again, I'm going to apologize to you in advance because, like I said, I haven't been. Oh, see, there it is. It just came up. There seems to be a delay on my. See, how do I unpin it now? Pin on timer. They've changed the. I don't want to unpin it. Okay. Hopefully that works. I don't know. Anyways, like I said, I'm a little rusty on my programs here, and I got a camera right directly in front of my. This camera is right directly in front of my one monitor. Actually, I can move my monitor just because I can't see some of the tags. And that stupid pin, now that I put it up there, hasn't gone away. So let's pin on. No, there, did it just go? No. I got such a delay on this. Unpin. There we go. Okay, so I won't do that again. Sorry. Perfect. It's gone now. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, bomb cyclone. We had bomb cyclone, and then we had another storm fall right up behind it, and it didn't really hit us too hard either. So, but we sure got a lot of rain. Man, we get so much rain. It's just insane. So that's kind of kept me indoors. I'm getting a little bit cooped up. I've been working on optimizing my existing videos, trying to create some new content with that. I mean, that's one of the things with trying to be making content is as much work to actually film and record it than it is. Actually, it's way more work to script it out. I spend a lot of time. Lots of the times, you'll make the thumbnail ahead of the video, so you get the idea in your mind what you want to create or what you want to say, and then you either script it out, which I find scripting very difficult. I find it like very unnatural. So the easiest thing I find for me is to just talk, and I think people appreciate that. They like to just hear a natural, cadence of speech. You're reading from a page. I've been trying to like I said earlier, do a lot of writing, and I'm also working on this book that I've been writing, and some of the ideas that have been coming out are like bringing back a lot of feelings. Yeah, remember when we called that heavy rain? Yeah, I do. Lake 10, yeah, and that's what it is basically. It's just November weather. But back to my writing, yeah. So it's been bringing back some feelings, and I've been exploring some other ideas and trying to express those feelings. Some of the thoughts I've been thinking about lately have been sort of around my behavior, not just my behavior, but how I present myself to others, because it's very easy for me to be withdrawn and not not really sort of aloof and sort of not really engaged, because I'm conscious of how people might misinterpret my thoughts or meanings. So sometimes it's easier to scribble something down and then express it from either note form or something like that, where you can get it out a little bit clearer without reading it from a script. Reading it from a script is very difficult. You've got a camera and you got to make sure you're staying in the camera, and then you're trying to read the piece of paper at the same time while you're trying to keep eye contact with the camera. Oh, what am I looking at? What am I reading? Then you lose your spot in your notes, and yeah, it's never good. It's never good. But yeah, I do have a video idea that I'm going to come up with soon, and it's going to be a destruction test on my favorite knife. So I'm going to take my favorite knife and I'm going to destroy it. And you think, oh, why would you do that? Well, the reason I'm going to do that is because I can just go buy another one. So I'm going to get a new one, but I'm going to prove how tough these knives really are. So the plan is to, you know, do a stab test, do a bend test, do a baton test, cut rocks with it, cut steel cable. I'm going to try and just trash this knife and just see how much it can do. So I don't know, I might do that tomorrow if it's not raining too hard. I guess it doesn't really matter if it's raining for a test like that. I know where there's this old car out in the bush, so I'm going to go out there and do some stab tests on the roof and the hood and see if I can pierce the steel. So that's going to be my excitement for the week. I keep seeing my mouse getting a little wheel here, so obviously it's working my computer pretty hard, but that's okay. Doesn't seem to be lagging. I am watching the stream on YouTube and Rumble at the same time as I'm streaming, so I can see that it looks like it's pretty clear video. I shall return. I'm hitting Canadian Tire. Oh yeah, good for Canadian. Canadian Tire, man. I got to go there today too. See, they got some tarps on sale. What else did I do this week? I cooked a pork shoulder in my oven. You know, I was first time I've ever used my cast iron Dutch oven, my camp oven, you know, the one with the legs. First time I've ever used that in my household oven. And I did a pork shoulder. I think I had it in there for 7 hours at 250. Holy shit, that thing good. It was just amazing. The crackling on top, the pork. I mean, I pulled it apart. All the fat had rendered away. So it was just like nice stringy meat. There's my sump pump. Hear it? There, it's off. But yeah, nice stringy meat. And I'm not kidding, it's a 10-pound pork shoulder, but holy shit, we've had pork for days. So what did I make? I made like a cottage pie, like a shepherd's pie, but I just put the pork in the bottom, and then I had a bunch of peppers and carrots and stuff, and I put those on top, and some mashed potatoes on top of that. Why did that pop up? Oh, let's see. Oh, because I'm logged into. So I just got a notification from Telegram. Yeah, so I made that shepherd's pie or cottage pie or whatever you want to. I guess it's not a shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie would be with lamb or mutton or something. But yeah, cottage pie with a pork cottage pie. And then the next night I made fried rice, and that was just fucking delicious. I love fried rice. And the trick I found with the rice is to cook it and then put it in the fridge and let it get cold. And then after, I don't know what it does. It breaks down the starches or something in it when it chills off. And then when you reheat it, it seems to have a lot less carbohydrates for some reason. I think there's some science behind that. I'm just not sure exactly what the deal is with that. But yeah, it fries up nice. And then what else did I do? Yeah, so... Oh, and then I spatchcocked a chicken last night, and I think we ate the whole chicken. So yesterday I told you I was with my grandson buying chicken, so I bought 8 chickens yesterday, 8 whole chickens. When they go on sale, I buy them like that, and it worked out perfect because I'm gonna butcher those chickens after the show, and then I'm gonna make some fresh stock. And the cool thing is I just last night when I was making my I made a side dish with my spatchcock chicken. I used the very last 2 pucks of chicken stock that I had in the fridge. So it's perfect timing and be able to make some more chicken stock this afternoon. I don't know if other people do that, but I just love it. I don't put anything else in it, just the chicken bones and water, and just reduce it down and cook it out, get all the goodness out of those bones. And then I have these 1 cup muffin trays. So they're quite large muffin trays. And I put the chicken stock in those, and we freeze them, and then we just put them in Ziploc bags. And then when you're ready to use the chicken stock, you have basically 1 cup block of chicken stock. You just melt it and you're good to go. So it's a good, easy way to measure how much you're using. You know, I like to cook everything in it. I make I'll cook my rice or my potatoes right in that chicken stock. I just love it. Trad Life says she's making cabbage rolls tonight. I freaking love cabbage rolls. And I saw it the other day. Actually, cabbage was on sale. I think it was 69 cents a pound. So maybe I'll go buy some of that today too. I love cabbage. It's really, really one of my favorite foods, actually. Right. Spaghetti's good too. Yeah. So I'm hoping that one of you guys will jump on here and have some conversation with me so it's not so one-sided. You'll have to go through the Rumble studio link. And I'll just post that up again here. That's private. Why is that coming out private? Oh, there we go. I don't know if I can do this. There we go. I can do it through the studio app. Perfect. That's interesting, Sarah. Sarah says, I want to suggest to not release any more than one video a day. If you make more than one, keep it in the bank for the next day or a day you don't feel like making one. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I don't really know. Yeah. Sometimes I just go on a roll and I want to push them out quick. I freeze the head of cabbage instead of boiling it. I'll hop in a few if you want. Yeah, sure. Like I said, I just kind of missed this Sunday morning, and I was doing this last year. I don't know if you guys remember, but we started doing this last January and continued with it every weekend for I think it was like 12 or 13 weeks. And I would come up in the Sunday mornings and do this. And I just like this because I'm up early. I'm an early bird. You know, it's 7 a.m. here where I am. And I like to just get up and get things going. It's much easier for me to do it at night or in the morning than at night. I'm old. I get tired early. So that's what happens. So like I said, I was working on this. I'm working on my book, and maybe I will. I don't know if you guys want to hear one of my stories. I don't know if this one's finished yet. Yeah. I don't know if you guys are interested in hearing some of my writing, but nobody's coming on, so I'll eventually run out of ideas and find it hard to keep in touch with your subs. So yes, it is difficult to keep coming up with content and ideas. One thing that I use is this program, and it is called vidIQ. And so this is the software that I use. So you can see this is my current video I'm working on. It says I can optimize my latest videos. So it's saying that it gives me a score on the title, and it'll generate the score, and I can optimize it. It's very effective. So this is software that I paid for. So see, it's giving me 100% on the thumbnail. So if I hit optimize, I can change the title. I can see what can be fixed. I can adjust the description however I want. I can add tags, which maybe I'll do right now. So you just add some tags like that, boom, and that just fixes it. So the ideas aren't really the issue. The issue is trying to make the ideas work. I also have what's called, so these are all my video ideas that I have put together. So as you can see, there's no shortage of ideas there. So I can always use that. There's a delay. So I've got my studio and then I've got the same windows open and there's just a delay. So sometimes I get sidetracked looking to see how it's looking. Let me see, studio. I'm sorry, I'm really not doing a great job on this. It's really I'm trying to remember how to use Rumble Studios is a little bit different than see, I didn't save that shit. Okay, that's all right. I don't really like Rumble Studios. I much prefer StreamYard. But I can't with my StreamYard account, I can't broadcast to Rumble. So that's why I'm using Rumble Studios and then replaying the Rumble stream on StreamYard. So StreamYard's probably even further behind with the delay, but that's okay. It's like the time traveling goat here. I got to pay attention to to the screen here. Okay. Try some wild rice with stock mushrooms. Onions, celery. Yeah, I don't eat wild rice. I do not like wild rice whatsoever. But yeah, I am a big fan of stock. I made a chanterelle stock. I don't know if you guys saw those videos, but it's basically just chanterelles and shallots and butter. And holy shit, it is good. I canned them. I think I canned 8 liters of it. I think I have about 2 liters left. But god damn, that stuff is so good. Those chanterelles, I just love them to death. Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe I will just read a little bit, give you a little preview of what I've got coming in my book here. And forgive me for my poor reading skills, but because I'm reading this right off my screen here. Okay, this one, I haven't titled this chapter, but you might like this one. Okay, here we go. On a misty summer morning in British Columbia, I ventured into the dense forest along the Kennedy River, drawn by whispers of Bigfoot sightings from locals. Armed with only a camera and my insatiable curiosity, I followed a winding trail, the scent of damp earth and cedar trees enveloping me. As I moved deeper into the woods, the sound of the river filled the air, soothing yet haunting. Suddenly, I stumbled upon a clearing where the sunlight pierced through the trees, illuminating a gigantic figure hunched by the water's edge. Heart racing, I discreetly raised my camera, unsure of what I was witnessing. The creature, covered in a thick coat of dark fur, seemed to be concentrating on something in the shallows. As I adjusted my lens, a rustle in the bushes caught my attention, and before I could react, the creature turned. Its deep-set eyes held a curious, almost gentle look, as if it were contemplating my presence rather than reacting with fear or aggression. Time froze as I stood captivated, the stories and myths of Bigfoot suddenly feeling tangible and real. And just as I prepared to snap a photo, it let out a low, rumbling sound that reverberated through the air, breaking the spell. To my astonishment, the Bigfoot turned back to the river, picked up a large rock, and expertly cracked open a shellfish, savoring its catch. The simplicity and the intimacy of the moment stirred something deep within me. I stood there watching until the creature, noticing my stillness, glanced back one last time before disappearing into the thicket, leaving only ripples on the water's surface and a heartbeat that echoed the magic of the brief encounter. That day I returned home not with a photograph, but with a profound understanding that legends linger for a reason, often revealing more than they conceal in their mysterious depths. It's funny how life takes unexpected turns. One moment I was a rebellious 17-year-old getting kicked out of high school for a dumb fight, and next I found, oh, this is a different one. Sorry, I don't know why I have this on the same chapter here. I do all my writing on a notepad, and sometimes it's just me scribbling. Maybe that wasn't the best one to read. Oh well. But that's my Bigfoot story. I think maybe I finished it on a different one. Anyways, here we go. It's funny how life takes unexpected turns. One moment I was a rebellious 17-year-old getting kicked out of high school for a dumb fight, and the next I found myself on the front lines of helicopter logging company known as VIH, courtesy of my dad. Dad was not one for sympathy. He made it clear that it was time to grow up and learn the value of hard work. On my first day, I stood wide-eyed as they unloaded an injured logger from the helicopter on a stretcher, the gravity of the situation hitting me hard. "Get in," they said, pointing to the open spot next to the pilots. I almost hesitated, glancing over my shoulder at the chaos around me, but I knew better than to back down now. Over the next 21 days, I learned lessons that textbooks could never teach. Each day kicked off early, and it didn't take long to realize that the life of a heli logger was not for the faint-hearted. I still remember the first time I had to pack my chokers too low on the hill. It felt like climbing Everest, dragging those heavy lines uphill. My back protested with every step, and I cursed my own ignorance. Foot care became an obsession. The blisters were furious, and when I failed to grease my boots properly, but I felt like an idiot hobbling around with hobbled feet. It was a reality check and a brutal lesson in prep work. Then there was day 2, which would haunt me for a long time. Picture this: a full tank of chain oil spills all over my crotch, rendering my plight less than safe for 3 long weeks. There's nothing quite like the feeling of greasy balls and the laughter of your coworkers ringing in your ears to keep you on your toes. And yet, despite the discomfort, there was camaraderie too. We all shared our horror stories, bonding over the chaotic, unforgiving intensity of the work. Days turned into a blur of sweat, exhaustion, and the smell of fresh timber as we harvested up to $1 million worth of logs each day for 14 days straight. I watched the sun rise and set from the cockpit of the helicopter, feeling the thrill of being alive, yet understanding the inherent dangers of the job. We were a team, and by the time the boss treated us to T-bone steaks and live lobsters, the joy of camaraderie and accomplishment overwhelmed any discomfort. We'd clawed every bit of timber we could from the mountains, and it felt worth it. That experience shaped me into someone who understood sacrifice and teamwork, lessons I carry with me even to this day. All right, just end it there. But yeah, so it's working on some writing, and I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know what to do with it. So especially after seeing Derek Harrison publish his book, it kind of inspired me to like, oh well, maybe I could write this down, and then I don't know if it's of any value, but it is to me. So yeah, I thought to start writing some stuff and see where it goes. So you got some people coming in. Good morning to Friday, and over here on YouTube, I see we got Mother of the Drummers here. Good morning, and we get I think I already said good morning to Kelly. Sarah's here, and I think I don't see anybody else new popping in there. No, perfect. Yeah, cool story, life lessons, so valuable. Good job. Yeah, that's. Oh, what else did I got here? Yeah, these are all the scripts from my. That's another one. No, this is one I've been working on here. Yeah, about the Uniparty. I'm not going to share that one because I'm going to use that one, I think. But it's pretty good. It's all about the Uniparty and then what's this one? Oh yeah, this is another good story. I don't know. Okay, fuck it, I'll read it. This one's going in my book too. But so here we go. In 1992, my dad and I used to sell firewood. We would cut it in the evenings to make extra cash. He would buck the wood with a chainsaw, and I would split and load it into the truck. We would usually go to freshly logged areas and cut up the pieces left over by the logging operations. My dad had purchased this 1972 F-250 crew cab from a local ex-fire chief. It was in incredible condition, especially for being 20 years old. It was fire engine red. It had a 390 V8 with the old 4-speed manual transmission. My dad loved this truck, and he had carefully fixed everything that didn't work, starting off with the completely new brake system. He replaced the brake drums, the brake shoes, the master cylinder, wheel cylinders, brake lines, and even installed new emergency brake hardware and cables. This truck was a pin, absolutely gorgeous, but that didn't stop him from using it to haul cords of firewood. After all, what's the point of having a truck if you don't use it, right? One day we got a special order for wood. Typically everyone wanted fir firewood, and that's what we cut as it was worth the most. But every once in a while we would get a call for some alder. I guess they use the alder wood for smoking salmon. But where we usually sourced our wood, alder simply did not grow. There was no alder in the piles, so when we went for a drive to find some. We drove about 15 miles from our house to a spot where we knew there was an old washed out bridge that crossed Lanterman Creek. We also knew there were several large alder trees growing there. And back in those days, although it was probably illegal, no one really cared about cutting up some alder. It was basically considered a weed. So we arrived to the top of the hill overlooking the washed out bridge below, and there was no place to really turn around at the bottom of the hill. So I guess my dad decided he would park at the top of the hill, and we'd walk down to the alder trees, follow a couple of them, and then back the truck down to load it up. My dad lit a cigarette and began to file his chainsaw. He knew I smoked. Just remember, I'm only 16. He knew I smoked, and when it was just me and him, often he'd offer me a smoke. But he didn't this time because it was the last one in his pack. He just shrugged it off and said, let's hurry up and get this done so we can get back to the store for another pack, and I'll give you one then. After he finished pointing up the chain and checking the gas and oil, I grabbed the wedges and axe and followed him down the hill to drop these trees. It was a little chilly that afternoon, so Dad just left the truck idling at the top of the hill, emergency brake securely applied. He lowered his earmuffs over his ears, started up his chainsaw, and began the undercut in the first tree. After about 30 seconds of cutting, I heard the familiar whoosh of the treetop flying through the air, followed by the sharp smack of the trunk hitting the ground. As soon as the tree was down, he began limbing it and then cutting it into the 16-inch pieces as per the order. After about 15 minutes of cutting, the saw ran out of gas, and I always tried to split the pieces as fast as he could cut them. So a few minutes of silence was always nice. It was like a break. But then suddenly I heard a loud bang. It was from the truck at the top of the hill. The truck began rolling right towards us, and in seconds, it was almost about to run us over. I picked up a large rock and was going to try and throw it under the tire to stop it, but my dad knew better and pushed me out of the way as the 5,000-pound truck blew by us at about 30 or 40 miles an hour. It was at this point I had visions of the old General Lee flying over a creek and landing safely on the other side of the 100-foot wide ravine while the horn blared the first 12 notes of Dixie, you know the song. But that's not exactly what happened. As the truck went over the edge, the 1,000-pound iron big block engine was apparently much more subject to the laws of physics than the old 69 Charger I'd seen jump way further hundreds of times in the Dukes of Hazzard. It dropped like a rock, nose first, right into the creek below. It was absolutely totaled. Even the taillights were both broken. Dad was just in shock. He just kept saying, fuck, 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 fuck. Once we realized we weren't driving the truck home, he said, let's go. It's a long walk and it was getting dark. He reached for a cigarette to calm his nerves a bit and then remembered he was out, which made it even worse. And let me tell you, we made short work of that walk home. I'd have to say it took under 3 hours. But it was dark, and when we got back to her house, my mom was pissed when we walked in. She started off about how we missed dinner again and why weren't we home for 5:30 and where's the truck? And my dad said to her quietly and very calmly, the e-brake cable must have snapped. The truck rolled away and went off the road. We'll go get it in the morning with the skidder. My mother, being her usual overdramatic self, started asking all kinds of pointless questions as if somehow with just enough information she could somehow fix this problem. My dad was always pretty patient with my mom, but today wasn't a good day for patience. And he said, enough, Jody. And she backed off, sensing his mood, and just said, well, at least you guys weren't in it when it went over the edge. My dad just spun around and looked her right in the eyes and said, God damn it, woman, if I'd been in the fucking truck, this never would have happened. To this day, neither myself nor my dad ever park on a hill and rely on the e-brake. Yeah, I don't know what you think of that, but just another story. I can't find you on YouTube, which is odd because I did the other day. Well, my YouTube is, you should be able to find it. It's just IslandJason, or Find Your Friends with IslandJason. You both should work on YouTube, but I accidentally shit on my long johns while logging it when I left them behind and frozen for the rest of the day. Yeah. There's all kinds of good stories. Like, I mean, I'm 48 years old. I've been working since I was 14. My first job was on a dairy farm, moving irrigation pipes and milking cows. And I did that at 14. And I've been working my whole life. Of course, you're going to acquire some interesting tales. And if you haven't, then you're something's weird about you. But you're always going to find interesting stories. And Hobie's here. Good. Let's allow Hobie in. Get Chris in here. Enough of my bullshit. Just going to add him to the screen here. Oop, trying to adjust my camera. So I've changed the mount of my camera, and I don't. So do I have to allow him in? Promote to moderator. Oh, yeah, he's in. We'll have to go up here and go duo. Okay, it's on auto.
Hey,
There's some. Oh, you getting some hard feedback, Chris?
am I?
Yeah.
Is it my mic going?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'll just go watch.
Okay, thanks for trying, man.
Yeah, but good writing, man. I think you're onto something there. You got a talent. You got a talent, man.
Thanks,
Anyway,
Chris.
later.
Sorry about your mic problem. Yeah, I don't know why it does that for him. You're still a young buck, Jason. Yeah, I'm a young buck. Yeah, that's right. Anybody else got the balls to come up and sit with IslandJason? Probably not. I saw Terry was in here. I haven't seen Terry for a while, so maybe Terry will come on. Yeah, so that was my my one. I don't want to share too many of those because I'm gonna close that. Well, because they're kind of I don't know, unpolished. I haven't, I kind of pound stuff out, and when it's flowing, and then I come back and edit it. And if it's just going to be a script for reading, then I don't have to edit, the punctuation and the grammar as much. Yeah. Oh, there's a little poem here. Okay, let's fuck it. This is a little poem I wrote It's kind of gay. Maybe I shouldn't. Anybody want to hear my poem? Let's see what people are thinking here. Nobody wants to hear my poem. Oh, Terry's trying to come on. Okay. No polish needed. Okay, fuck it. Here you go. The Ballad of Pat King. I wrote this after his trial the other day, or his conviction. So I'm just going to go for it. If you don't like it, you can turn in your volume down for a minute. The Ballad of Pat King. In the heart of the north where the wild winds roam, there lived a man, a restless soul, far from home. With a spirit unbroken, a fire in his gaze, he spoke of Canada, lost in a haze. Pat King was his name, with a heart bold and wide. He fought for the truth, for the dreams that abide. Through valleys of discord, through forests of doubt, he marched with his kin, with a cry and a shout. Let the rivers flow free, let the mountains stand tall. For the land that we love, we must answer the call. Through the voices of many, in unity's name, we'll honor our history, we'll carry the flame. Yet shadows loomed heavy, and whispers took flight, in a world torn asunder, seeming wrong for the right. They captured his passion, they silenced his gleam, with chains made of rulings, they shattered his dream. Convicted for standing, for holding the line, a martyr in dreams, an emblem divine. For the courage to challenge, for the hope to unite, with each passing season, he nurtured the light. Pat King, they said, was a fool for his fight, but inside each heart, he ignited the night. For in every conviction, a voice finds its way, like embers in darkness, igniting the day. So raise up your banners, let the echoes resound, for the spirit of freedom, forever unabound. For Pat's song will linger on Canada's shore, a tapestry woven forever encore. In whispers of forests, in odes of the sea, his tale becomes legend, forever and free. For those who dare venture to challenge the night, in the Ballad of Pat King, we find our own light. Yeah, there you go. So there you can see that I'm not just a pretty face. I can't believe I just read my poem. That was kind of gay. I shouldn't have done that. But anyways, I did it. Now you see how weak I am. Okay, I'm trying to. I get the impression Pat King was the only convoy organizer that was not compromised. I don't, like I said, I don't know. I think what Pat's mistake was getting in front of the camera as much as he did. And, you know, when those words were, you know, Trudeau's going to catch a B word. I think that kind of, brought a negative light over like him. I really think he had in his heart, he believed what he was doing. I think all those, I mean, I know I did. When I was protesting and I was organizing convoys and, you know, being a road captain and, you know, even organized a couple of events locally here in, you know, I remember thinking like, this is the end of our country. If we don't do this, we're doomed. You know, everybody's screwed. And why can't all these other people see it? And it took me a couple of years to kind of recover from that idea that I'd been let down by so many. I felt betrayed. I felt like very alone, you know, coming into that. There was a lot of people that were going to these protests and were doing the Canuck. I almost unfriended a 15-year Facebook friend yesterday after she posted celebrating the Pat King guilty headlines. Wow. You know, how can you celebrate someone else's suffering? Because I don't believe that Pat King caused $30 million worth of damage or physically or mentally. He may have mentally hurt somebody, but I like Pat King, but I mean, I just think he's just a, he's a martyr for our current situation. They're going to make, I'm worried that they're going to make an example out of him when they finally sentence him. And, he hasn't really spent that much time in jail. So like time served isn't really an option. If they sentence him to 10 years, that's still going to be like, I guess 7, which would be, if he did half of that, would be 3.5, 4 years. That's a long bloody time, man. Imagine 2028. Imagine where you were in 2020 compared to today, and that entire period of time from 2020 to 2024. It's just not there. You're just dealing with fucking idiots in jail for those 4 years. Like that's a punishment, man. That's definitely a deterrent for a lot of people. I think the links aren't working. Okay, maybe. Oh, I see you're on there. There you go. Sorry, Terry, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, I allowed him, and now he's back. Oh, try again. Sorry, I wasn't. There we go. You're in now. Sorry. I've got my Rumble Studio on my left side monitor, which is not really in my line of sight. So I had to, there we go. There's Terry. Got some volume. I think you're muted. Yeah, it says there you go. There you go.
Am I good now?
Yep, you're good now.
You hear me now?
Good. We hear you loud and clear, man. Good morning.
Morning.
You feeling a little better? You're pretty sick there, weren't you?
Oh yeah. I was super sick last week. That's how I lost track of my days.
Right on. What's new in Terry's land?
Did I freeze?
Yeah, you're chopped up a bit.
I'm freezing. Yeah, hold on a second here. There. I'll turn my PlayStation off, see if that helps. That's weird.
I've been having really shitty
I
internet.
got my beard trimmed and my mustache is too fucking short.
It looks good. I hate having my mustache too long. It gets right in my mouth all the time. But I also hate shaving too.
Oh, I don't. Doesn't. Yeah, I hate shaving a lot. The electric razor I use for my head isn't too bad.
Yeah, I just use clippers. I just clip the sides when I need it, but I could never handle having
That's
a
what I
beard
used
that
to do
long.
too. Oh, it doesn't. It's like the first time it like tickled my chest and my neck. I thought there was like a bug on my neck, and I was like freaking out.
Yeah, I get that with my hair. Like
my beard.
I usually shave my head too, and my hair's getting a little lengthy, and I get that the wind blows and I feel it on my neck or whatever. Yeah, too fucking cold right now to shave my head though.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I have like little skull caps I wear when I sleep because it gets too cold at night.
You wear a skull cap to bed?
Like do-rags.
You should make one that looks like a little.
She says I look like when I put the black one on. She says I look like what's his face from the weird guy that was around the Tsar right before his family was slaughtered. What's his name?
Oh, you're talking about Archduke Ferdinand? Is that
no. The Tsar of Russia.
Oh yeah. What's his name? Was it William the No.
No. What was the? Somebody in the chat.
I know who you're talking about. The guy that basically started World War I, right?
No. That was Ferdinand. That was Archduke Ferdinand. The Tsar was last Tsar of Russia. Nicholas II.
Nicholas, yes, right.
But his he had there was he had like a advisor, and he was like all into the occult and shit. He had this weird fucking name. Tsar of Russia.
Was it Aunt
Anyway.
Louvet? No.
She says that she like she says I look like an Orthodox Russian Orthodox priest when I wear my little black skull cap and my beard, and I walk around like like Mr. Burns.
Terry, yesterday I came out of my house and it was really fucking cloudy, right? So it's like really gray skies. And it was about 2:00 in the afternoon, and I come out of my house and I looked east, and there was like this little tiny hole in the cloud, I guess. And the sun was west, obviously, right? But I'm looking east, and I seen this light blaring through the fucking clouds. And for like 2 seconds, I thought, holy shit, it's just sun being reflected. But I thought, holy shit, is that it? Like, I mean, is the fucking blast coming? Like, it's going to hit me in the next second here. Right? So, I don't know, man. I
don't know. I think
you're in scary times, man.
Yeah. I was making jokes last week that, like, when they shot the missiles into Russia, I was making the joke last week that, like, Trump's on the phone with Putin going, my dude, like, just hold off until January before declaring war on us.
Yeah.
He's just like just pumped him. And I think Putin is smart enough to know that the Democrats are trying to goat him into a war that Trump can't get out of.
Or what about this? This is my little backwards theory: is Trump and Putin are in cahoots, and they want to fucking. Trump said, yeah, fucking shoot a couple of those ICBMs over into Ukraine, and then I'll save the fucking world by ending this war that was at the brink of nuclear, like we're at 5 minutes to midnight or whatever. But Trump comes along and saves it because.
Yeah,
Did you see those fucking missiles though?
Like those missiles, like they have what's called like a MIRV, which is a multi-something re-entry vehicle. So they shoot up like one missile, but it's got like 5 warheads on it, and then it gets up into the atmosphere, and then it shoots those warheads down.
See how fast they came down though? Fuck, they were fast.
Yeah. But like, so it's like super accurate artillery almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like at ICBM fucking levels, like you could. So, and we both have this technology, and I think though that I fully believe now that the United States has technology, like basically the defense contractors, like it's not Martians that are coming, it's Lockheed Martin. Like
Lockheed Martin.
It's Lockheed Martin flying shit over top of the military bases, wondering whether or not they can be detected, and fucking with the military bases to test their own equipment. And I fully believe that we have anti-gravitational like weapons, and I've seen the patents, and I've seen the scientists that invented self-organizing plasma, and I've seen interviews with them and them making the claims of what they're taught, like, and we fully have this technology, and I don't think that the Russians and China have it yet.
Well, I would think like Putin's going off about, there's no defense to this. And I would think, there probably is a defense. There probably is no defense to it, but I think the Americans probably have the same technology. They just haven't revealed it.
No, but we have a defense to hypersonic missiles. We can literally, faster than the speed of light, zap them out of the sky through wormholes. Like, we have gravitational technology that can create wormholes and all sorts of things.
All you need to do is watch The View for one episode, and you can agree there's anti-gravitational forces in the world.
But I mean, just saying that, and I think that I fully believe that the disappearance of that Malaysian flight was the United States flexing, using that technology, and they transported that plane to somewhere, and they did it as a partly as a flex, because it would have been right outside of China's like sensory range. You know what I mean? It was in the South China Sea, and so they would have known like the plane was there, and then all of a sudden the plane wasn't, and then the United States just has to say like, "Look what we have." like, look what we can do, through diplomatic channels. And, we show that nuclear missiles are like fucking firecrackers compared to the shit we have.
So do you think that's the same technology they use, like maybe in Lahaina?
In Lahaina.
The direct energy weapon?
Oh, yeah, I think that like we have lasers, we have like the 2021 or the 2022 Nobel Prize went to the guy that invented the attosecond laser, which fires a laser. I think it's to the -15, like exponent, like 10 to the -15 times per second. And the faster you can shoot a laser, the more powerful it is. And apparently with these attosecond lasers, we can literally is so powerful, it can rip space-time. And that's why they won the Nobel Prize for it.
Did you see that thing yesterday? I watched only a few minutes of it. Tim Pool had a show yesterday about the Earth being the center. Like the universe is rolling around, and the reason that we thought it was the sun, it was Newton was saying that because it's the largest celestial body in our solar system, the gravity would be the greatest. Therefore, we were rotating about that. But this guy's theory was, well, you're not looking at the entire, galaxy, I guess, and that there's counterbalance weight, gravity on the other side, so it's actually all revolving around the Earth, which I don't really understand why it would revolve around Earth.
Yeah.
And
He
don't
thinks
necessarily
the planets are revolving around the sun, then the sun is revolving around the Earth.
Oh, is that what he thinks? Like the planet?
Yeah. It wasn't that everything is rotating around the Earth. It's that's why the planets do the figure 8 in the sky that we see, which is just an optical illusion because they're traveling around the sun at the same time we're traveling around the sun. And we're looking at it at a 2-dimensional plane, and so it looks like a figure 8, and you know what I mean? But if you were to, I don't know. I think a lot of that is like, I think NASA's fake and gay, but I don't think space is fake and gay. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of the physics that we were taught was fake and gay. Like, did you know that Einstein worked on the Philadelphia experiment?
No.
Well,
it's like that Project Paperclip. I mean, who knows? The space industry could just be a big propaganda machine.
Like literally, like we can look at the timeline. Like, so that plane in South China Sea disappears. Trump becomes the president. He then gets access to like all the shit that we have. And then he decides to make Space Force, which is literally another division of the military, but we know nothing about it at all. Yeah. So I think that it's I think the psyop is that using rockets to get to space is literally the like caveman way of doing it, but that's the psyop. We have basically like UFO technology, or like technology we would equate to aliens, and Elon Musk and SpaceX, that's the psyop. And we could just go anywhere. Like, we can literally go anywhere in the universe right now. I think we have that technology. I think the United States has it. And but they can't show that they have it, because with this technology, you could literally just create a black hole. You could just in my garage, I could do it. So you don't want the wrong people to have this technology, obviously, and you don't want to once it's known that it exists, that's it. It's like the atomic bomb. Once they use it, everybody's going to be rushing to get this technology. And so they don't want to show that they have it, because then the bad guys will be trying to get it as well.
So you're close to Montreal. What is your take on those I guess riots, or they weren't really protests, but what was your kind of thought on that?
I mean, it's
do you see that spreading across Canada, or
no? Montreal and Toronto and Vancouver to a degree are like isolated, and I don't see there's not enough far leftists like with the convoy, it was like a unite the right type of thing. It didn't matter at what spectrum on the right you were on, you were part of the convoy or supported it in some way.
Do you think at the start,
there's
do you
enough
think
people on the left to have this spread at all, like that are violent at least? I think there's lots that are violent, but I don't think there's enough.
Do you think when the convoy started that, you know, the people that were participating would have considered themselves to be right? I mean, I didn't think I was right wing. I didn't really have a political stance at that point. It wasn't, you know, I just thought it was something else other people had to worry about. Do you think, you know, that when those convoys first started, I mean, I saw a lot of different types of people there that I wouldn't expect to see now, you know, if it happened today, right?
I've always been on the right, so it's hard because I've always looked at right-wing politics or conservative, like like for a long time, I was just like in my 20s, I was a conservative, but I was more like a fiscal conservative. Like I was kind of center right. And then I went more libertarian, obviously, and then realized what a psyop that was.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I find myself kind of in between libertarianism and National Socialism somewhere.
Right. What do you think about? What do you think about the idea?
I think that it was a right-wing movement, and because the left had psyoped science, like it. So I think it created more of a right wing too, I guess, because you got people like you to be awake.
Well, exactly. I think how it kind of started off was like a religious movement. I think it was a lot of Christian, you know, the churches were getting burnt, and you know, there was the forced mandates, and there was also, you know, like the whole Soji issue.
It definitely started.
I think it all culminated. Yeah. Yeah,
and I think that the East was looking at it like, if you have enough people and enough balls to like actually drive across Canada, then we will support that momentum. And we were waiting to see. And then by the time it got to Saskatchewan, everybody realized how big it was out here, at least. And then was like, we'll like the people that were on the right were like, yes, we'll support that.
I heard an interesting idea the other day. I don't remember who said it, but it was that a lot of the people in the West really wanted to go to Ottawa, and they couldn't afford to. They couldn't take the time off. They couldn't afford the gas, or, you know, like it was the middle of winter too. It's shitty driving across the prairies, right? Maybe they didn't have a vehicle to go or whatever. So they went to Coots and protested there. But I don't know. I felt like at the time that Coots wasn't really under the spotlight so much as Ottawa. But I mean, there was events happening in Windsor and other border crossings too, right?
Yeah, I was. So the border crossing by me, which is Cornwall, which is probably the last border crossing before Montreal, they blocked that for, I think it went down the same day as Windsor.
Who blocked that? The cops or the protesters?
Protesters blocked it, and then the cops closed it. And then when Windsor was bigger, like there was more of a, like the cops had to actually move in kind of in Windsor. In Cornwall, they didn't really need to move in. It was just like, they kind of like, we're okay, it's over, Windsor's over, you know, Coots is over, like, you know, and so there was only like 20 guys in Cornwall, so they were like, okay, yeah.
Correct my geography for a minute here. The Windsor crossing, that's a different crossing than the one that's in Niagara, right? Like there's a...
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, that they're like probably a 5-hour drive, 4-hour drive apart.
Oh really? Oh, I didn't realize it was that far.
It's like the whole of, like, one's at one end of Lake Ontario and the other's at the other end of Lake Ontario.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. What's that bridge called that's in Niagara? Did that one get blocked?
The bridge of the Rainbow Bridge or whatever the fuck
it is. The Rainbow. It is the Rainbow Bridge, isn't it?
Yeah. It's called the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah. I don't know why. No. I don't think it has to do with LGBTQ, but it might.
No, it probably was a foreshadow.
Yeah. It's really short too. Like when you go to Niagara Falls, it's like compared to like here, the bridges to go across the border are really big because they have to be really tall so the ocean liners can get down the St. Lawrence
underneath. Yeah.
So they're like these giant fucking, like you see out like the bridge to PEI, you know what I mean? Like it's this massive, huge bridge, and the border crossings, like you can't even see them because you can't see the other side of the bridge, and the border crossings are on each side of the bridge. But in Niagara Falls, it's literally like, I don't know, 100 yards.
Meters. Yeah, it's not far. Yeah,
it's like
I remember
it's just this short bridge. Like
I took my kids to that butterfly place that's on the other side of the bridge. You know the one, that place is actually pretty cool. But
the bird place is cool too. The butterfly place is cool. I liked the boat thing was cool, but I don't think it was worth the cost.
What, the boat under the falls?
Yeah.
The Lady of the Mist or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
The
museum was cool, but it was just because they talked about like all the like people that went over.
Well,
I was fascinated by that, and I didn't know about the whirlpool downstream. That there is literally people still stuck in the whirlpool
at the bottom, like bodies.
Yeah, because the suction's so bad that they'll just never come up. So,
Rogue's got a good point here. He says the left-right paradigm was given to us by our slave masters so they can be fit in a box.
Yeah,
it's two heads of the same beast. Both sides serve the same agenda in the end. Left-right is a fallacy. And I've been contemplating this idea too, because I kind of feel like I don't feel like I'm a right-wing person. I'm not a prior to this, I mean, I was pretty liberal in the sense that I did chum around with I said it before, one of my caving buddies was a trans man, and I didn't even realize that. And when I sort of saw it was when that first protest, I remember talking to him on a chat, and I was telling him, oh man, this was great, I went and did this, and he's like, how could you go there? Like, those guys are all racist and they're all bigots and homophobes. And I'm like, no man, it was love, it was great, like everybody was hugging each other. And he's like, no man, you're a bigot, and I don't want to be your friend anymore. Like that, he was that blatant about it, and it was like, holy fuck, you don't want to be my friend now? Like,
I had people the same way, and I tried to tell people, they were like, you went to Ottawa? And because it's only 45-minute drive for me. So I was like, yes, I would. Well, I like drove to like a suburb, and then I took the train in, but I just because I didn't want to lose my car. It was like the most inclusive environment I ever walked into. Like it was I couldn't believe it. And there are people to this day that don't believe me. They just think I'm like lying about that, or that it was inclusive because I look the way I look, like it was inclusive because I look like I'm a right-wing bigot, like, so and yeah, I think the left wing, right wing thing is to a point, but there are people who are authoritarian in nature. I guess it comes down to like authoritarian or non-authoritarian. Yeah. If you really want to like whip it down. Oh, my family's home. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go.
All right, Terry. It's good to talk to you.
Yeah, man. It was great to jump on. And
when are you going to finish my tooth? My head's getting cold.
It's right here. I was just working on it.
Get her done,
I gotta
buddy.
get it to 9 inches long, and then I can start to like close it out and it's done. And I think I'm at like 7 inches. So
that's what I tell my old lady too. She just says, keep pumping, keep pumping. Yeah. Take care, man. Have a good morning.
Cheers. Bye.
Right on. That was Friday, Terry. I really enjoy his takes on things. The guy's very intelligent and then seems to know a lot of interesting facts. So I always enjoy Terry. But yeah, like this right left thing, like I said, I don't consider myself right. In fact, I remember in 2015 voting for Trudeau, and I think I was duped. I just wanted the legalization shit. I remember feeling like the Harper was just a fucking clown, and I didn't want nothing to do with the Conservatives, and I still don't. I mean, not much has changed in that aspect. But I described myself as a conservative man the other day, and it kind of like rolled off my tongue, and then I was like, oh, and you know, I guess I kind of am conservative, not politically aligned with the conservatives, but because I don't really think they are true conservatives, but you know, some of the values that I have, like hard work and honesty and respect, and it kind of got me thinking about legacy and like, okay, what are my kids going to say about me? I mean, I try and think about my parents' political views when I was younger, and I don't think they really had any, or they were just kind of oblivious to it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe they were, and I just was too young or too self-centered or self-focused to realize it. But yeah, I don't know, man. See, Rogue saying that they're the beasts of the both of the same side of the head, and I think that's true too, because you know, you see things like, I'm trying to think of an example, but you'll see like a left wing loss, you know, like some sort of event occurs where, you know, it's obviously an advantage for the right wing. Randy Hillier getting let off the other day. Here's an example. Everybody started like, yeah, right on, Randy's off. Randy got, you know, his case got thrown out. But then the left are like, you know, fighting it or are mad that this happened. And this is just an example. Randy's just an example. But I see the exact same thing happen on the right wing. So like, what was that crazy protester in Ottawa saying that, fuck, what was her, Deanna Sharif? So I see her, she gets locked in jail, gets refused bail, and I see everybody like cheering and applauding because she's, well, yes, she's a fucking wingnut, but should we be applauding somebody else's misfortune? I don't know. I feel uncomfortable with that. You know, so I don't think Rogue's wrong when he says they're the same, the left and right are the same. I mean, I think the common denominator is probably going to be that we're human beings and that human beings are naturally flawed. You know, if you want to be let down, just have expectations of a human being, and you will be. But yeah, so I mean, I just I don't know. I don't consider myself right wing. I do consider, like he said, he's a national socialist, and I want to touch on the idea of ethnic nationalism versus civic nationalism. That's a concept that's really fascinated me, and like I've said, I don't think I'm an ethno-nationalist, but I'm a nationalist, but I'm not really a Nazi. So I don't know how that fits together. I believe that Canada was once a strong and prosperous nation and was built with the hard work of many different ethnicities. You know, yes, there's obviously immigration issues these days, and you know, everybody's, you know, hyper aware of that, myself included. You know, being on the job market, looking through some of the employment ads, you know, and I see things like executive housekeeper or all these jobs, and then they put these extremely difficult conditions on the job that's only paying, you know, $18 or $20 an hour, and they put these extremely difficult, you know, caveats. Well, you have to be able to do this or this or this, and frankly, most people who are going to be applying for an $18 or $20 an hour job probably do not have those qualifications. So what ends up happening is these ads are being posted regularly, like, you know, on the national job search site. You post something and it usually stays up for like a month, or unless you pull it off, but you can renew it. But these guys are putting these ads up like every couple of days. And I think the reason they're doing that is because that way they can say, when they do their labor market investigation, they can say, well, we've put up 200 ads for this job and nobody's applied. Nobody's applying because you can't pay rent or eat food if you're only making $18 an hour or 30 hours a week. It's very difficult to do. So, but they bring in their labor market, LMIA, labor market assessment, I guess. Anyways, I can't remember what the I stands for, but so they do this, and you're seeing this in fast food joints like Pizza Hut, executive pizza builder or cook or whatever. Bullshit. It's a pizza joint, man. You're making cardboard boxes and you're going to bring in somebody else to do it. Now, I know that you know, the government's kind of changed their tune on some of the visa stuff. We've yet to see any results of that. I don't think that there's going to be any real difference anytime soon. I mean, we're talking about housing, we're talking about the job market, we're talking about resources that we have in this country, such as healthcare, education, public service, even the simple as an ambulance service, right? Food banks, all these things that are being overwhelmed by the sheer volume of users that have suddenly appeared out of nowhere. And a lot of us are aware of what the problem is, but there's just doesn't seem to be an actual solution being presented by neither the left or the right. I don't even know if the left believes it's a problem. And that's it always shocks me when I see people that are supportive of this. And yesterday I was uptown and there's this fast food joint that opened up, and I've been kind of watching it because I know who owns it, and I don't see any customers in there. There's never customers in there. It's a pita joint, and never see any customers in there. And I was thinking to myself, how long can this place stay open? And then I see some dude pull up in his F-150, this white guy with his F-150, jumps out with his Daytons or his cowboy boots or whatever, and he goes in to eat. And I'm thinking, see, as long as people are doing this, as long as people are supporting these, well, I don't even know what to call them, but as long as people are supporting these businesses that are operating under these subsidies and I mean, I'm generalizing because I don't know for sure that this business is subsidized, but I'm assuming the fact that there's no customers and there's people working there that look like they're fairly new Canadians. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. How long before you've got, several million Canadian men who are unemployable because of whatever reason the market doesn't allow. There's no jobs. Like our logging industry here on the coast of British Columbia has basically been destroyed in the last 20 years. The days of just being able to, like when I was growing up, I could have a different job by the end of the day. I mean, the problem with not having a job and applying for jobs in the old days was then you'd have to pick which one you wanted to take, and then you'd actually have to go to work. Now it's not so simple. I mean, I'm looking through the job ads, and I'm like, I don't really want to take any of these jobs. I don't really want to be prisoner to this schedule where I have to go to work and do some stupid, just stand there and be something I'm not. So I keep hoping that something's going to change. And, it's like the old thing, what was it? Einstein, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I don't know why I expect there to be some magic job that just shows up on the computer and says, "Oh, come take me, Jason." I think I got to do something for myself. I got to figure it out. I mean, I'm a capable individual. I'm hoping that I can use some of my brain instead of my body. Talked about it last week about, some of my back issues and yeah. So Rogue saying, yeah, I can't vote because there's no representation of my views and desires. Yeah, I guess that's pretty correct. I mean, I see right now, I guess I'm unaware of the actual date, but I see that we have city council election signs being put up around our town. Who are you going to vote for? Like, why would you even vote for that? Who are these people? I don't know. I guess I got to get out and get information, but because I'm not on Facebook or whatever platform they're using to, I don't know, like our city council puts all their shit out on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook. I don't know. They're not trying to appeal to people like myself. They're trying to appeal to their, audience of old ladies, I guess. I don't really know anything about the candidates that are being proposed. I know the people that are currently in council, and I've seen what their record has been. Not thrilled about it. I see our city council, our property taxes that we pay so dearly, so hard to pay them, but we have to pay them every month. And then I see the sheer waste of resources. So Lake Ken says Randy was my MPP. I'm happy for him. Yes, Randy's a good shit. I really enjoy Randy, and I wish we had more people like him in our country. I like his suspenders. I told my wife I'm going to start rocking suspenders. She said she's going to leave me if I buy another pair. So probably too young to wear suspenders quite yet. I got a belt that'll keep my pants up. Yeah. Well, so I'm coming up on 2 hours. No, not quite yet. I was going to do 2 hours, so I'll keep it going for another half an hour. So I don't even know what else to talk about. Christmas is coming up. That's going to be fun. Got a couple Christmas parties to go to. We've got, I think, my wife's ward Christmas party. It's always fun. Go hang out with a bunch of lefties. It's always fun. But be doing that. I think we're going to probably pull out our Christmas tree decorations and our decorations today, and my wife will probably get started on that. She loves it this time of year. I'm not a big Christmas person, but I decided this year that I'm going to do my best to not be a Grinch, because she gets so stressed out about it. So I'm going to do my best to not be a Grinch. I don't know how well that'll go, but we'll try. I don't know. Christmas has always just bothered me, the commercialization of it. The fact that, people feel obligated to purchase things for people that they don't, I don't know. There's like, so my wife's sister has 4 kids. Her other sister has 1 kid. And then she's got cousins who have kids, and they have this Christmas party every year, and you're supposed to bring a present for all the kids. So there's like, I don't know, 12 or 15 kids, and you're supposed to limit it to $10 per present. So whoop-de-doo. So you got $150 worth of dollar store junk being given to kids that they don't even play with or care about. Just seems like a tremendous waste. And, yeah. Trad Life says Jesus wasn't born in December. Yeah, I know. I realize that. Actually, I think they said he was born on September 11th or around that day, and that happens to be my birthday too. So maybe I'm a reincarnate. I don't think so, but they wouldn't reincarnate Jesus as a bald man. So maybe. Oh, what else we got going on? Oh yeah, so Christmas. Yeah, so I put up Christmas lights last week. That was my commitment to not being a Grinch. That was my way of being a non-Grinchy. So yeah, I put the Christmas lights out. Already 2 strings have stopped working. What is it with Christmas lights? You buy I'm sure those are only a year old. I'm sure we bought those last year, and they just sat in a tote for the last 11 months, and now they're not working all of a sudden. So I don't know. It's like some sort of conspiracy. China's like, oh yeah, we get white man to buy new Christmas light this year. Oh, very good. Very good. Go buy some new Christmas light. So I don't know. And what else is going on for me? I think that's about it. And like I said, I'm going to be butchering some chickens in a little bit. I like cutting them up. I like buying full birds and cutting them up, and then I can package the pieces and make them into meal size, save a lot of money paying two. I just bought some chickens. I think they were $2.98 a pound, which, $3 a pound wouldn't have been great 5 years ago, but today it's pretty good when you look at a full chicken in the grocery store and it's like $22 or $25 for one chicken. It's like, holy shit, I can't afford chicken. And then when you can buy them, like the ones I got yesterday, there was two fryer chickens in a package, and I think they were like $15 to $18 each. So, I got, what did I buy? 8. So 4 packs. So basically $65, $70. And that should make about 16 meals, I guess, 16 to 20 meals for those. And then also I get the bones and the stock and everything, which I really enjoy. So save some money that way. I bought some pork shoulders. Like I said, I love those pork shoulders. Oh my God, they're so good. They're just big. It's a lot of meat to process at once, but it's worth it. Can always freeze the leftovers too. Yeah, looks like it's pretty foggy out. Like it's getting daylight here now. Because you guys back east, it's probably, what time is it? It's 11 o'clock back east for you guys. It's 8 o'clock here, and the sun's out. Well, the sun's not out. It's daylight. It's foggy as hell, but it's not freezing, so that's good. So maybe I'll go outside and go for a walk or something after this. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been using my drone quite a bit for capturing some of my video. So this is my little drone. And the problem is this thing, is $300, but I'm worried I'm going to lose it. I'm terrified I'm going to lose this thing. I mean, it was a birthday gift. And so it's not really money out of it's money out of our household, but my wife bought it for me. But I'm so terrified I'm going to crash this thing. I was at this campsite and I thought, oh, well, I can use I tested. I put some weight on it to see if it could fly with a bit of weight. And sure enough, it could. So I tied a little string on it and I flew it up into the tree, above a tree and over this branch, and then lowered the string down, and it got down about 6 feet down the other side of the branch, and it couldn't come down. It started freaking out, trying to fly around or whatever. And I managed to stick a stick up and sort of drag it back down, but it didn't have enough power to pull the string back down the other side of the branch. So I was terrified because I was like, holy fuck, it's like 30 feet up in the air and I'm not going to be able to get it back down. But my point is, I would really like to take it out and fly it around some more, sort of capture some of the. November is such a beautiful time, especially after a big rain. We got high water flow. You typically can get some pretty cool waterfall shots and stuff like that. So maybe I'll go out and do that while my wife, she doesn't let me help really with the Christmas decorations. I just pack them upstairs and leave them up there, and it kind of keeps her happy that way. Happy wife is a happy life. That's what I always say. What else do I got to do? Oh, so we have our spare bedroom. The window was leaking for some reason. Underneath there's water on the floor, and looks like the insulation got wet inside the wall. So guess I got to pull that gyprock off and replace that insulation and see where the leak came in. We had an atmospheric river last week, and yeah, Al Stern just stepped into the room and he says he liked how he was there. Actually, were you there, Al, when I got it stuck up in the tree? I don't think he was there. I think he came later that night. But yeah, he did. Yeah. So it's an autonomous drone. So it's AI operated. So basically, when you fire it up, you have it pointed at your face, and it takes a picture of your face, and then whatever you do, it just follows you around autonomously. It's kind of cool. And you don't even need a controller, but you can control it manually if you want. You can. There's also sort of preset functions where you can, do a droney where it flies up 10 meters up, takes a picture, and then slowly comes in. What else can you do? Oh, you can do a spiral shot. So you're making something right here, and you can have your drone just fly around in a circle. Like you can set the diameter of the circle, 2 meters, 5 meters, 10 meters, whatever you want. You can make some pretty cool shots with it, I think. I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. You know what? I'm going to throw the join link up one more time in case somebody wants to come on and have a few more minutes of chat with me. Let's put it up here. There you go. Maybe I'll come on for a minute. Surprised she's up this early. There we go. Put those in the. Anybody wants to jump on, I'd be happy to have you up here, and maybe you can give me some ideas to talk about. I can't think of much else to talk about. I'm drawing a blank. I didn't even write anything down for this. So, when I used to do it, I just remember when I used to do this, I would write down a little piece of paper, like little keynotes. So if you got into a spot where you can think about something, or you can think of what to talk about, you had some sort of guidance at least to carry on. But I don't have that prepared, so I'm just going to have a quick peek here. Oh yeah, let's talk about. I saw these people in Montreal, so I was on that a little bit earlier, but I don't understand the purpose of like destroying stuff. Like what is the value? I mean, I guess if it's your enemy, right? But why are you protesting your enemy, or why? I don't understand the value. I mean, that was one thing about the convoy, the Ottawa convoy, and the freedom movement, if you want to call it that, was I didn't see a lot of destruction of property. And with these ones, it's just like every time you see it, it's like, well, why are you burning cars? Why are you breaking windows and looting and lighting garbage cans on fire and those kinds of things. I don't understand I guess I guess I don't understand it because I wouldn't do it, but I don't see any benefit from it. Like, I even trying to look at it, I'm trying to steel man their idea, but I just can't. I don't see how you can believe that that's the right thing to do. So I don't know. It's like vandalism in general. I don't understand, why somebody would walk through a parking lot and key somebody's car, for example. Like, maybe if it was your ex-husband's car or truck or something and you're pissed at him and you wanted to write liar or something. I mean, I can understand. I mean, I'm not saying it's justified, but I can understand the motivation behind it, at least, vengeance, I guess. And maybe that's the same motivation that these people that are protesting is vengeance. But I don't think the streets of Montreal, the businesses and the property owners and whatnot are responsible for some of the atrocities that are happening in another country, in another land. Maybe I'm misguided there. Maybe they are responsible. Maybe they're blaming they're blaming Canadians because Canada's been supporting the war effort in there. I don't really know. I see they can't really blame Trudeau for it because he's obviously more interested in Taylor Swift than. And man, did you guys see that guy dancing? Like, what's with the peace sign? That's how you dance, I guess. I don't know. I never saw that peace sign dance. Like, I'm the fucking Prime Minister of Canada. Better recognize, or I'll tax you again. And how about the GST break, man? An opportunity to cause chaos, dissection, and loot. Yes, Rotten's right, and I think that's what it boils down to, and that's why I can't wrap my mind around this. Why this is being allowed to happen? Like, why do they come in and bring horses and trample ladies and walkers, but the police are literally standing there watching this happen? And I don't know, man. Like, why don't? Well, I know why, because they obviously want this to happen, then they can make these. See, this is the thing. It's every time you see something, you're like, why is this happening? And then you realize, oh, I know why it's happening, because this is what they're trying to do to us. They're trying to tear our country apart so they can write laws that prevent us from being able to dissent from their policies or their ideas or their agendas, right? So, yeah. Well, I've thrown that link out there a couple of times. Nobody's taken it. Coming up on 2 hours, so I'm thinking I'm gonna probably he should have busted out the moves he threw down in India. Yeah, the moves he threw down in India. What's this? Those are his India moves. I don't know. The whole India thing too, man. I mean, that's really disturbing. I don't know if you guys have seen Mocha Berzergan. I think that's how you pronounce his last name, Berzergan. Fantastic work he's doing, but you see the Hindustan Times and what they call that other Indian news network. I can't remember the name of it, but anyways, so they're using his footage, and he's got a watermark in the bottom corner, a lot like what I've got down here at the bottom right hand side of my screen. That's a little subscribe button. So there's a watermark in his video, but they're cropping the video so that they don't have to give him credit for it. They just say it's fair use. It's a news article. They can use his thing, and I think CBC does the same shit. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely tensions there that are beyond me, and I don't really understand them, and I don't really think I should have to really worry about foreign affairs with the country, a Commonwealth country, who's basically invading us on our own dollar. We're paying for this invasion to occur. So. Yeah, man, I've been doing pretty good for viewers. I did got some good. We got 17 on YouTube and 15 on Rumble. So 30, 32, 31, 32 viewers. That's pretty good. I appreciate you all watching. I don't have a lot more to offer you today unless somebody wants to jump on and help me out here. But I don't think I'm going to be able to continue much longer here. And I also have to pee, so that's the problem with having 2 cups of coffee. Oh, I got to open my fresh one. I'm going to do this again, hopefully next weekend. And I swear to God, next time I'll have some notes or some script to go off, something exciting. The problem is, and I forgot, when you're doing these live streams, it's a lot of guys just have the talent. And, I see Jerry McKenzie, he just comes on and he can talk for 3-4 hours. I don't have those skills honed. And it definitely takes some planning and some forethought to make something go smoothly where you have actual content. And also, I didn't really get anybody, schedule any guests or anything like that. So I'll try and work on that. I'll improve it a little bit. I appreciate everybody watching. I do have a link in my video description. Yesterday I got a couple of donations, e-transfers. All of a sudden I got some e-transfers. So that was really cool. Beats the hell out of getting Rumble chats or super chats. Super chats are generous, but unfortunately Rumble or YouTube take a good portion of that. So getting an e-transfer from a stranger is kind of cool. It helps. Definitely helps. I mean, any bushcrafter that goes out and does regular videos, they realize that there's expense that, there's fuel. Oh, great. Good time to vacuum, honey. Right above my head too. There's fuel expenses. There's, for example, you make a video of cooking a steak on the fire, and then you got to pay for the steak, you got to pay for the gas to get out there. You're buying your equipment, you're doing stuff. So when somebody takes the time to even send you a couple bucks, like that really makes a difference, and it helps me realize that maybe I'm on the right page. I'm not very good for asking for money. I don't haven't been able to do that too well. And I see I've even said to other streamers, like, well, and they're said the same thing. I'm not in this for the money. I'm not really in it for the money either, but it definitely helps. It helps pay for things. Sticks Outdoor Bushcraft. Hi, Jason. Good to see you, Sticks. I saw you were live this morning. I watched a few minutes of it, but then I had to come over here and oh, poor Al. Rumble Studios don't work on his phone. Sorry, Al. I had to use your Rumble. So what I'm doing this morning, you might have missed the beginning. Wow. Okay, I might have to get up soon. Apparently, that's the signal. I use the vacuum on an linoleum floor above my head. But anyway, so yes, I'm streaming. My original source is coming from Rumble Studios, and then I am restreaming using StreamYard to rebroadcast. But yeah, that way I can stream it out to Rumble and YouTube, and I don't have to pay for a subscription to StreamYard. If I had the $40 a month to pay for the StreamYard subscription, then I would be just using StreamYard, because I'm not a big fan of the Rumble Studio. But yeah, Stick says thanks for popping in couldn't really see what you were building. It looks like you were building some like a shelf or a cabinet or something. I saw you doing some sanding in your shop there. Sticks Outdoor Bushcraft. I believe he's from the UK, and you're making some cool videos. I like these small channel bushcrafters. There's another one that I've been watching recently. I think it's Jess Outdoors. I think she's from Scotland. She made some, I think it was like natural clay, and then she made some pottery. Oh, he's making a knife in his shop. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, Jess was making some pottery last couple of videos, and she made like just little, bowls or plates or cups or whatever, and then trying to fire them on the campfire. And I'd never really thought about trying to make like pottery. Like, so I go out and one of my shticks is I'll do some outdoor cooking, and I try just, I'll bring my skillet or whatever. It's hard to eat out of a hot skillet. So, I'll cut a piece of wood or something and use that as a plate. But I thought about, if you could make a vessel that's capable of, I don't know, at least holding some hot water. You don't have to boil. I mean, I don't know if you can boil with fired clay, but I don't know if you can get it glazed properly with a campfire, the temperatures that you could get out of a campfire. I think they were saying something about 1200 degrees. Anyways, my point is Jess has been making these videos, and I really, really enjoy watching people who are self-filming, self-editing. I enjoy the content, but more so I think I enjoy the creative process of in it, because I, as a creator, I understand, okay, in order to get that shot, that concurrent shot, you can always tell if somebody's using more than one camera. Lots of times you can, if they are using more than one camera, you can tell the difference between the two cameras if they're different. Like say you're using a cell phone for one and an action camera for another, you can tell the difference usually, or I can. But when you see that shot and the camera's looking this way, and then the next shot it's down on they're doing that's because they actually stopped what they were doing. They walked over, they moved the camera, they reset it up, they got ready back to where they were, and they restarted the thing. That takes a lot of work. Or you see people will do what I see is when people are trying to read a script, they'll do jump cuts. So they'll read one sentence and then they'll pause it and then they'll refer to their notes. Okay, the next line is blah 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 blah. Okay, then they'll start their camera again, and then they'll blah 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 blah, and then you'll see the jump cut. So the creative process of video editing, adding in B-roll and cleaning up the sound, that's a real challenge, especially when you're using low budget equipment. I mean, anybody could make a fucking masterpiece when you got $1 million worth of photography equipment. I don't, so that's why you get what you get, I guess. But yeah, Stick says he loves Jess. Yeah, I really enjoy her content, and that girl has some skills. So it's kind of I don't know. I didn't really expect to learn what I have. Like you'd be surprised what you can. Yeah, see, I cut out most of my pauses and so loads of jump cuts in mine. Yeah, I hear you. It's pretty good shit. Dries rock hard and not brittle. We also have a kiln we were given. Huh? Interesting. Didn't know that, Al. That would be interesting. Okay. So yeah, wouldn't mind trying to at least make a cup or something. I think that would be really cool. I have this is my pen holder. I don't know, maybe I'm aging myself. Does anybody know who this fella is? And he's not from Brampton, in case you're wondering. But yeah, this is I like the bottom of the cup. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. Oh yeah, there you go. It says Jason 1983. So there you go. What would that be? Is that 40 years ago? 40 years old, this cup that I made when I was I would have been 6 or 7 when I made that ET cup. ET go home. She's been a while. Elliot. Yeah. ET go home. Yeah, so I'd like to try some of that, get back into those natural things. I mean, we had a power outage last week, and it kind of got me thinking about heat sources for our home, and in the event of power failure, what am I going to do with the meat in my freezer? And it got me thinking. Well, I mean, obviously I have 2 generators actually, and but I think only one of them actually works. I should pull them out and get them working. But I mean, how long can you run a generator for, right? Yesterday I went and filled up. I have 2 propane tanks. I went and filled those because, again, when the power was out, we had no heat. My propane tanks were empty. I've got camping fuel bottles down here and stuff like I can make food with. I can't boil water or whatever, but how are you going to heat your house, especially in the middle of winter? And, with all the fuckery that's going on in the world right now, like you never know. I wouldn't put it past anybody, any government, any organization to just say, oh, lights are out. I see they're detained a Chinese ship that was fiddling around with the internet cables or something in the Pacific Ocean. They detained them. I didn't get the whole story on that, but so I'm kind of talking out of my ass. But you start thinking about that. Well, what would we do if they just popped off a power station or whatever? I don't know. I don't know what we would do. We'd be screwed. Oh, well, you just run your generator. Well, how much gas do you have on hand? Do you have enough gas to keep going? Because if the power's out, how are you going to pump the gas out of the gas tanks? Probably not. It's probably going to be all stolen or destroyed within first couple of days. What's the difference between a generator and an inverter? So do I have a log burning stove? No, I do not. Unfortunately, we do not have a log burning stove. Difference between a generator and an inverter. So a generator generates electricity through, I believe it's DC, and then it gets inverted to AC. And I believe that AC or the inverter will invert DC to AC. So they're different things. An inverter doesn't generate power, whereas a generator actually generates it. An inverter will take, like, say, your power supply, your power source from, a solar panel or a Pelton wheel or something like that, and it will invert it from DC current, which is like basically a line, to an AC current, which is an oscillating wave. Yeah, so my mate put his out his window, and I got into a little bit of a discussion with my wife yesterday. I was like, because we got a little propane fire pit, and I was like, if it gets cold enough in the house, I'd bring the fire pit inside and light it up. She's like, you're not doing that in the house. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. And then I'm like, well, yeah, there's going to be carbon monoxide coming out of it, but I'd rather have carbon monoxide and a door open or a window open and sitting over a fire inside out of the rain and snow than being fucking freezing, right? Koala mama, my worst nightmare would be emergency canning a freezer of meat over a fire, 6 jars at a time. Yeah, can you imagine trying to do that? I mean, and the thing is you have, well, I guess this time of year it wouldn't be so bad. I mean, maybe you could just put your meat outside and it would stay frozen. But I got a pretty large canner. But how are you going to heat that over a fire? Jeez, can you imagine trying to can over I mean, I guess water bath, but I mean, pressure canning, I don't know. Like, I got, a dozen salmon in my freezer. I don't know what I would do with them. I'd smoke them, I guess. I mean, you can smoke here. But again, you got to have all that sort of lined up and in order. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up. It's been 2 hours and 5 minutes, so I think I'll wrap it up, and appreciate you all watching and sticking around. Look forward to doing this again next weekend, and stay tuned for more links. Next weekend, I'll try and have somebody lined up to actually sit here and talk to me, so it's not just me telling you about my week. But yeah, thank you again, and we will see you all very soon. I'm going to end the stream now. Have a good day. All right. That went well. Thank you guys for watching. Go watch Zach in a bit. Yeah, Sundag stream's coming up. Be watching that today too. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe. Really want to get my subscribers up. So if you could do that, if you're not already, thank you very much. Have a good one.